Welcome back. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another session of Business Research Methods and Analytics. Today, we're going to discuss research strategies. So, in last classes, we have discussed how to get an idea about research. So, research idea may be on the basis of creativity. You have some skills, you got some strength, or on the basis of some existing information, you can think of a research. Now, here we have a research strategy, and that would be when you know what are the different sources which we can use for our research. So that would be in terms of research strategies. Here you can see when you think of a research, basically what comes in your mind. First thing comes in your mind that someone would have been doing some kind of survey. So that survey, basically people take your feedback in terms of your opinion, maybe in terms of your preference, your like, your dislike, or maybe if someone is proposing some idea on the basis of your opinion, so they collect the information. Then we have experiment, case study, action research, ground theory, ethnography, and archival. So these different research strategy we're gonna discuss today. So here, first start with survey. The survey strategy is very useful and common in business, commerce, and management research. I hope you all are aware of. You might have seen that whenever you go to mall or maybe sometime at petrol pump, people come to you and they request you to fill out the questionnaire. They take your response towards a particular event. Maybe sometime when you use particular services, the organization send you a feedback form and request you to give your feedback towards the satisfaction level or maybe towards your experience towards that particular product. So a lot of time this happens when you go stay outside your home, especially in some hill station, in a hotel. So after some time hotel send you a some kind of feedback form. How was your experience with us? So that is a kind of survey. So in this strategy, the researchers, like when I did my project, so I collected information from individual. That was also kind of survey. So in this strategy, the researchers collect quantitative data and uses descriptive and inferential analysis. Now quantitative data, generally what happens, it is most of the time yes, no, or maybe high, medium, low. Or what we do, suppose we want to see your opinion towards satisfaction level. So satisfaction cannot be in terms of yes or no, right? So sometime you highly satisfied, sometime highly dissatisfied, or satisfied, dissatisfied, or maybe neutral. So we put it on a scale. So that is basically a quantitative data. And then describe that how many people were there in your survey, how many male, female, what was their income, what was their education level. So that is what are descriptive. Now as far as inferential is concerned, suppose we collect our information and calculate mean, median, mode. See, mean, median, mode is very basic kind of statistical tool. But if you really wish to understand with the help of statistical tool, maybe a correlation or a regression, now we have advanced tool also. So while you using this advanced tool, so with the help of statistical tool, you predict something, you see some kind of association, you see some kind of linkage, you see some kind of relationship, and maybe it is kind of impact also. So on the one side dependent variable, on the other side independent variable. And in an inferential analysis, what happens, you cannot collect data from the whole population. So you collect data from sample, a particular sample, and here you infer that whatever sample is describing or mentioning, the same thing would be there in the population also. So that is called inferential. So it is not possible with mean, median, mode, but we have to go for advanced tools in statistics. So now I hope you understand quantitative, descriptive and inferential analysis. So it may be relationship among variables, independent dependent variables where we have effect or impact, or maybe association among variables. So according to Newman, survey is a quantitative research in which the researcher systematically asks a large number of people the same questions and then record their answer. So we make one kind of questionnaire and send it to all and see that how do you respond to that questionnaire. Even yesterday I received one questionnaire, and that lady, she is working in one college, and I went through that particular survey, and that was very interesting because she came out with some kind of psychological concept. And now that psychological concept was basically about uh, psychological or behavior of advertisement. So that was something unique. Whenever you see a advertisement, sometimes you see a funny advertisement. So she want to understand human psychology towards a funny advertisement. Will it give a more impact on your mind? Will it give you some more perspective, or it would be more attractive, or will persuade you to immediately go and buy that product? So then I said that, okay, you talk to me and we'll discuss this, your particular questionnaire. So she wanted to understand, because of funny advertisement, impact would be more, or it will really give more revenue, or will give more market share. So what would be a psychological impact of that funny advertisement? Another, I got one girl who did her PhD, and basically she is from English literature, and she has been working on semiotics. Now, semiotics is the English word, and semiotics basically it's from English literature, and now she wished to uh, bring that construct which is semiotic into commerce and management. So I was very keen to understand what is this semiotic all about, and how we gonna use it, English literature, things in our commerce and management. So that was another example. So she floated a questionnaire and collected information from. So that was basically when you design a product, right? Different feature of product, what you like in a product. So that was about semiotic concept. So on the one side, conceptual, understanding, right, in terms of semiotics. On the other side, the products, which is basically in commerce, we say that these are the feature characteristics, looks of a, or the feature design of a product. So two different world, but now a lot of researcher, they are trying to connect these different construct, different variable, different words. It's called interdisciplinary research or interdisciplinary approach. Now, in survey, generally, a questionnaire is administered to collect data from a sample of target population on the backgrounds, behaviors, beliefs, or attitude of individuals. The survey is based, the survey is used to understand the behavior of a population in certain way. So now we have an election in 5 states. So a lot of TV channel, a lot of organization, they comes to voters and take their opinion. It's called opinion polls, right? Then we have test score, student score nationally or locally. So before 12th class result, 10th class result, you can go to student and talk to them. What is your expectation, right? How much you will be securing. So then preference of people for a particular event, and then a reader survey. You read this newspaper and we want your opinion. Do you really like the content of the newspaper, size, color, design of the newspaper? So lot of things you can ask to the readers. So here we have a characteristics. Let me go a bit fast because a lot of things we need to cover today. If you have any question, you can unmute your mic because now I can't see your screen. So the first characteristics is gather data at a point of time. Data collection is economical and less time consuming. You can collect data from, you can go to a mall and collect data from 100 people, right? Or you can go to a bank and collect data from customer. You can come to Kurodimal College and collect data from students. I remember one of my friends, she was working for one MNC, and at MNC basically they started a long time back peanut butter. I hope you all are aware of different brands of peanut butter. So she brought that peanut butter here. She introduced that, and we requested students in Kurodimal College, and we requested them to taste that peanut butter and tell us which among these three different butters you like the most. So that is what we come to people, we talk to them and tell them these are the products, you taste it. Generally this happens when you come to mall or different places where you come for shopping. There you see that they offer you something, right? And they request you tell us, do you like this product, which one you like the most. So here it's a very important thing, collect numerical data. And as we mentioned, it's a descriptive and inferential information. And sometimes you gather very uniform information. For example, if I collect data from your class, uniform, it would be somewhere uniform because your in terms of age you all would be you know having same kind of age group. You talk about your height, that would be on an average would be same. Very few people they would be very tall or very small, right? So this is what when we collect data, most of the time this is uniform information. Very few cases you will see it's very extreme that either people are very tall or very short. So here generally what happens when you collect data numerically, these data are basically uniform. Then enable one to make a perfect questionnaire on the basis of pilot study. So a lot of people send me their questionnaire because I'm expert of questionnaire making. So they send me a questionnaire. A lot of people they create their own questionnaire. So generally questionnaire, what is the purpose of questionnaire? Basically it is to capture, to measure a particular information, and up to what extent that questionnaire is actually measuring and capturing the information. For example, think of motivation. Can we really measure and capture motivation? It's very difficult, very difficult. But with the help of questionnaire, right, we can ask few questions. On the basis of that, we can, see that yes, this is we call motivation. That yes, this person is motivated or not. Then observe and describe a pattern. You can see that okay, these things are going on, and you can describe it, observe it. Data can be processed statistically, gather data from a large population, and finally testing hypothesis. What is this testing hypothesis? Basically, as you know, we have discussed, whenever we think of uh, you know some kind of concept or maybe some kind of relationship association, whenever you collect data, what you are doing actually, hypothesis is what? Hypothesis is actually you see some kind of relationship, differences or association between two variables, but behind that there must be some logic and there must be some human tendency, human behavior. Okay, for example, um, let's have some kind of hypothesis that which government will come in 5 states. Now we have election in Feb. So you can predict, you can see that, okay, mm, the budget, yesterday budget, and winning of a particular party is having no relationship, right? A lot of people saying that yesterday budget is not election budget. Huh? So is there any relationship between yesterday budget and the election, right? And the party who will win. So here, so this is what a hypothesis, that we see that because of because of this budget, the party, or maybe a particular, you can say a particular party, will not win or will win, right? So that is what hypothesis. But before the behind the hypothesis, so we collect data, we talk to people that are you happy with the budget, or do you think because of budget you are happy and now you would cast your vote to this particular party. So we can collect data, numerical data, and then we can analyze it. Then we can see that yes, whether that would be true or whether it would be a false. So now we want to see that is there really any impact of uh, this kind of event, like we have yesterday financial budget. So if financial budget has not given any incentive to salary class, and that is income tax slab, right? You're all aware of. So will it give some kind of negative impact, or will it give more positive impact on people, right? So this is what behind each, and so here we have a monetary and non-monetary benefit. So in human resource management, we see that you motivate your employees. So here government is motivating the citizens or not. So same thing in the human resource management, you motivate your employees or not. So for motivating your employees, what you need to do, you have monetary benefit or non-monetary incentives. So each and everything is connected with each other, and behind that we need to understand what is the logic. So logic is that if you want to engage your employees, if you want to see their performance more, and you want more and more performance from your employees, you need to give them some kind of motivation, incentive. That should be as per Maslow's, you understand, Hertzberg theory also, there are two kind of incentives. So what kind of incentives you need to give, you need to recognize that, right? So here these things are interlinked with each other. Now different types of commercial survey used by business and marketing organizations are: first, periodic survey. This kind of survey is conducted on regular interval, like annually, quarterly, monthly and weekly. So time to time they keep on doing this kind of activity. For example, NIRF, they conduct survey, they collect data from all colleges in India and rank them. So this is what annually they collect information. GST, right? That is on the basis of I don't know. That is on the basis of transaction you make, or maybe income tax. Now earlier it was annually. Now you can pay, I believe, quarterly also. Each time the survey is done, the respondents are different, and the goal of periodic survey is to analyze. So you don't go again and again to same sample people. This time these sample 100 people sample, next time other people, right? Maybe 100 or 200, that's up to you. The trend in the competitive environment or consumer behavior. So here we have a personal interview, mail, telephonic interview are the example of periodic survey. Now panel survey, it is conducted among the selected people who have given their consent. So you go and talk to them that we need your consent to give response. There may be a lot of example. It may be maybe a conflict of interest sometime, maybe a issue of privacy. In USA, you cannot knock door and say that, hey, I need this information, would you like to give? No, you need to take permission in advance. So you need to take consent in advance. So here also when you want to collect information, so it's not that the whole world is your respondent. Very selective people. So you take consent, maybe a telephonically or send an email, and so it is in comparison to random survey, the information like demographic, behavioral pattern in voluntarily available in panel survey. In case of sensitive issue, generally respondents avoid to give their personal information. Now, informed consent is required before researcher collect data through survey to ensure the participant about their identity. So there may be a lot of cases. For example, people, the patient, those who are suffering from a particular disease, like maybe a cancer. So people don't want to talk about that. People don't want to give any information about that. For example, now yesterday only, in a budget, government has proposed that now there would be a kind of expenditure on psychological issues, because now we identified that because of COVID-19, it's not a physical issues, physical problem, physical disease, but mental issue, mental disease is also there. So now government has planned to open a hospital for mental health. So when you talk to people, do you really think that people will come to you, will give you a response that I have this psychological issue, psychological problem? So people don't want to talk about that. So there may be other issues also, personal issue you don't want to talk about. So here you don't disclose their identity. That is one very important thing. And secondly, you need to take their consent, and you need to tell them that my research purpose is not to disclose your identity or to commercialize this event, but it is just for the sake of research only, and we will not disclose your identity to anyone. So we have this kind of survey too. Then shared survey, these are also called multi-client survey or omnibus survey. It is conducted through a questionnaire containing different types of questions for clients. Cost of surveys shared by different clients as they will share the information. Surveys are generally used for market lifestyle data, for establishing consumer profile, product, image, determination, price, perception, analysis, etc. For example, policy.com, right? You will see all possible policies. So they sometimes they call you and would you like to have policy? So you are which company? They say we gave you option that these many companies we have, right? So this is what one platform, but all options are available. So this is what a share survey. And then we have experiment. So on the one side survey, we collect data in numerical terms and talk to people, take their opinion and analyze, describe, and we talk about inferential statistics. Now come to experiment. Generally people have a perception that we make an experiment in pure science, chemistry, physics, biology. Here in social science, the experiment strategy is used to check the cause and effect relationship. What is this cause and effect relationship? We'll see that. For example, because of if price goes up, what will happen to demand? Demand will comes down, right? So this is what one thing is causing and will have effect on other variable. And then analyzing the changes in one variable by identifying relationship or impact of another variable. And it helps one to identify cause and effect relationship through experiment. For example, employees performance, if you second could be employees engagement. So if employees engagement is high, employees performance would be high. So because of one cause, there would be impact or effect. How much changes has occurred in the dependent variable due to changes in the independent? For example, how much sale has increased due to sales promotion in a particular period of time? A lot of time you will see discount or the sales promotion activity, and because of that, and that is for short period of time, maybe during Deepavali or a particular event like New Year. So it is generally performed in explanatory research to find out answers to the questions of why and how. This also study the relationship between before and after event impact due to a particular intervention. For example, the performance of an employee by manipulating his incentives or motivation is a typical example of experimentation.